All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are into Modular 6, Lesson 2. I would like you to take out your centimeter inch ruler and have it on the centimeter side. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to draw a line that measures 2 centimeters. So what you're going to do is you're going to start at the 0 and move over 2 centimeters. Go ahead and pause while you do that. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to extend our line 6/10. As we learned the other day, the centimeter has tenths in it. 1 centimeter has tenths. So if I want to go 6/10, you notice I blocked off my 2 centimeters. If I want to go 6/10, I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my long one. 6. And I'm going to put just a little line there, a little dot. And I'm going to extend. So that's 6/10 of a centimeter. Go ahead and make yours look like mine. So what we want to ask ourselves is how many whole centimeters do we have? Well, you should have said we have 2. And how many tenths do we have? Well, we have 6/10. The way to write that out as a mixed number would be 2 wholes plus 6/10. So it would be 2 6/10 centimeters. What if I want to change it to a decimal? Well, our whole does not change. Still is 2 centimeters. See if you can figure out how to write down 6/10 as a decimal like we did yesterday. Pause while you do it. If you came up with 0.6 centimeters, then you are correct because that spot right past the decimal is called a tenth. So that's 6/10. If I add those together, you could have lined them up like this. 2 plus 0.6. Every whole number has a decimal after it, and if there's nothing else, it's just a 0. If I added them up, I would have come up with 2.6 centimeters. I would say 2 and 6/10 centimeters. That's how you would read that number. All right, the next one we're going to try is I would like you to make 3. All right, so my video cut off on me, but the last thing I asked you to do was to make a line that was 3 centimeters and 5/10. So 3 and 5/10 centimeters. So it looks like this. 3 and 5/10 centimeters. So what I want you to do is I want you to use your ruler again to make 3 and 5/10. Remembering, that's your whole and that's a part. Please pause while you do it. Make sure to label. Here's what you should have gotten. All right, if you made 3 and 5/10 centimeters, you should have measured out 3 centimeters with your ruler. And then 5/10, which means you go over with these little guys right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/10. So if we put that into an addition sentence, it'd be 3 centimeters plus 5/10, which equals 3 and 5/10 centimeters. You guys know how to do that because that's just mixed fractions or mixed numbers. Now turn this into a decimal, just like you did up here. Please pause while you do it. This is what you should have come up with. 3 centimeters plus 5/10. Remember, the space right past the decimal is called tenths, so it's 5/10 centimeters. And if you add them together, you get 3.5. Again, I can add them over here. We know that 3 really represents 3.0, and you could put 1,000 zeros after it because they don't mean anything. They're just holding a place. Plus 0, that's my whole, 0.5. And if I add them up, I get 3.5. The next thing I want to look at is I just want to look at the 1 centimeter right here. Nothing else. Pretend that nothing else exists. We're just looking at that 1 centimeter. How many tenths are in 1 centimeter? Well, you can count them. And if you count them, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tenths are in 1 centimeter. So I'm just going to draw that out. You don't have to. but there's 10 tenths in 1 centimeter. That equals 1 centimeter. Well, what happens if all of a sudden we don't have 1 centimeter, but we have 2 centimeters? How many tenths are in 2 centimeters? Well, if 10 tenths are in 1, then I bet you another 10 tenths would be in 2. And if I add them up, I have 20 tenths. So 2 centimeters equals 20 tenths. Because 10 tenths is one, 10 tenths is the next one. Put them together, I get 20 tenths. Now, we did this before. We had 2 centimeters, right? Whoops, sorry guys. We had 2 centimeters. Well, now I'm going to add my 6 tenths on. So I had 2 centimeters, and then I go over to 6 tenths. This is 6 tenths. So that does not equal a whole, right? It's only part of a centimeter. So 2 centimeters equals 20 tenths. 6 centimeters, or 6 tenths, is 6 tenths centimeters. 6 tenths centimeters. If I added those two together, 20 tenths centimeters plus 6 tenths centimeters, that would equal 26 tenths centimeters. I just put my two fractions together. And then because we know how to do this, we could certainly break it down. 10 tenths is 1. 10 tenths is 2. 6 tenths is the rest. 26 tenths. That's 1 plus 1 plus 6 tenths. Or 2 and 6 tenths. You see how decimals and fractions are connected? The last thing I want to show you is on your problem set, they're going to show you these type of boxes. And they're going to talk about 4 ones or 4 holes. Well, a hole is one box, right? So if I have 4 holes, I would color in an entire box. 1 box, 2 box, 3 box, 4 box, because that's 4 holes. But then I have 2 tenths. Well, what are these boxes broken into? Well, they're actually broken into tenths. So how many would I color for 2 tenths? I would color 2 little strips because it's 2 out of the 10, which would give me 4 and 2 tenths. And then, of course, you're going to write underneath to show what you did, turning it into a decimal. This is your sample. Do your sample. I'll fill this one in for you. 2 holes, so that's all of this shaded in. 2 holes, right? That's 1 hole. This is 2 holes. And then 6 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what it should look like. I had 2 and 6 tenths. I broke it into whole plus fraction, whole plus decimal. Now I just have decimal. Make sure that that's how you do yours. Go ahead and find a partner and work on the problem set. Good luck.